Now here's a snapshot of another story this past week right here in the San Gabriel Valley. Pasadena police found the body of a black male in his 30s this morning in the dirt area by Brookside parking lot near the Rose Bowl after a city worker noticed the body and called authorities. Police say the man had been shot and that it's possible the body was connected to a shots fired call they received last night in the 1000 block of Armada, that is. Investigators say they're not ruling out a gang retaliation, possibly having to do with the recent shooting of 17-year-old Brandon Jackson. Police want anyone with information on this case to call homicide detectives at 626-744-4511. Now, Governor Brown's 2011-2012 budget proposal to eliminate more than 400 redevelopment agencies across the state has left many cities scrambling to save the funds they help boost their economies. Pasadena Redevelopment Agency officials say their projects have created many jobs throughout the city. CCN's Nataly Tavidian is here with more on that story. Nataly?
The plan has stirred up a lot of controversy. It was in January when Governor Brown announced a plan to completely dissolve redevelopment agencies and distribute their funds to other local agencies like schools. During the early years of California's redevelopment law, only a few communities created project areas, and the ones created were fairly small. Over the last 35 years, the size and number of project areas have grown. California's expansive use of redevelopment has created some controversy. Those for the program say it's an important tool to promote economic development, while those against it say redevelopment dollars take away property tax from government services and increase state education costs.
Pasadena city officials say if the governor's 2011-2012 budget passes, it would take away redevelopment agencies, tools cities use to improve blighted areas. Economic Development Manager Duyshart says,
there are very few tools that cities have to kind of work to upgrade a commercial district and to attract businesses. And so the enterprise zone and redevelopment efforts really are targeted for that. So during an economic slowdown, to get rid of those tools, it could be looked at as not the best time to do that.
The city of Pasadena was established in 1886 and benefited from years of economic prosperity through the 30s. But after World War II, the city's unemployment and poverty rose. Duyshart says construction of the 210 freeway also created some challenges. Pasadena set up 8 redevelopment areas to fix old buildings and reverse the poor land conditions. Duyshart says some of these sites include neighborhoods in the Northwest that provide affordable housing, and that a number of redevelopment sites have helped improve the city of Pasadena through home building and commercial projects.
Best known one is Old Pasadena. People go there to shop and eat now, but 20 years ago, people would try and avoid that area because it was in decline, there weren't businesses there.
Duyshart says Governor Brown's proposed cuts would not only jeopardize redevelopment agencies, but also enterprise zones, where businesses receive tax credit for hiring local residents and those in need of jobs.
There are 1,500 vouchers that have kind of gone through the system already that, you know, we feel it's kind of matching the intent of the program. Those businesses are hiring people that are on welfare, that are veterans, or that live in a targeted census tract. So the people that kind of needed the jobs have been getting them.
According to a report from the Legislative Analyst's Office, a group known to provide nonpartisan analysis of the state budget, the redevelopment agencies can improve city areas, but there are some findings that show it takes away revenue from other local government agencies. The LAO analysis states that dissolving the program will be complicated and disruptive. Duyshart says many agencies are asking for a modification.
In this case, it is something that could be modified or fixed so that it helps fill the state budget gap and still continue with this important economic development activity.
Today, the city's redevelopment zones are a total of 5% of the community's land area. Duyshart says some agencies may abuse the redevelopment laws of their city, but he says in the past week, the state commissioned an audit for 18 randomly selected cities of the 420-plus agencies. He says according to the one-week audit, Pasadena is doing a good job, but he says some cities may be using their redevelopment dollars in ways law never intended. Sunita, back to you.
Thanks for that report, Natalie. Now, the LAO analyst says 10 times over the last 2 decades, the legislature has required redevelopment agencies to shift funds to school. In 2009-2010, the legislature required redevelopment agencies to shift $2 billion of redevelopment funds to schools, but recent approval of Proposition 22 prohibits the legislature from enacting these types of revenue shifts in the future.